If you ask longtime fans when Halloween Horror Nights really became Halloween Horror Nights, a lot of them will point to 1995. This is the year Universal stopped just testing ideas and started building an identity. We get a host, we get stronger branding, the streets feel alive, the houses feel more focused, and for the first time, HHN feels like something you can't miss. So tonight, we're backtracking to Halloween Horror Nights 5, the event that helped define what HHN would become. Before we jump in, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Backtrack Parks if you love theme park history and HHN deep dives. It really helps my channel grow and lets me keep making these. Alright, let's backtrack. By 1995, Halloween Horror Nights had proven itself. Universal knew people were willing to show up, pay for a separate ticket, and get scared. And this year, they leaned into that confidence. HHN 1995 ran on select nights from October 13th through October 31st. That gave the event a longer presence throughout the month and made it feel more like a full Halloween season rather than just a short experiment. Ticket prices ranged from $22 to $37 depending on the night. Compared to earlier years, this showed that Universal understood the value of what they had, and guests were willing to pay for it. The park atmosphere was darker, louder, and more intentional. Fog filled the streets, lighting cues guided guests, and HHN finally felt designed, not improvised. 1995 is remembered most for one thing: the Crypt Keeper. For the first time ever, Halloween Horror Nights had an official host. And not just any host. Universal partnered with Tales from the Crypt, bringing horror icon the Crypt Keeper into the event. This was massive. Even though his presence wasn't as fully realized as later HHN icons would be, this marked a turning point. Having a host gave the event personality, attitude, and a recognizable face. Suddenly, HHN wasn't just a collection of haunted houses. It was a show, with a narrator guiding you through all the madness. This decision alone helped shape everything HHN would become in the late 90s and beyond. HHN 1995 featured 3 haunted houses, but each one felt more polished and intentional than years prior. Universal's House of Horror acted as a love letter to classic horror. Guests walked through scenes inspired by Universal's legacy of monsters and fear, blending old-school scares with modern intensity. It helped remind guests that Universal didn't just host horror, they invented it. Terror underground, transit to torment. This was one of the most immersive concepts HHN had attempted so far. Guests descended into a twisted underground transit system filled with darkness, chaos, and panic. The confined spaces, industrial theming, and constant noise made this house incredibly effective. It felt claustrophobic, intense, and unpredictable, exactly what HHN was learning to do best. Crypt Keeper's Dungeon of Terror. This house was the centerpiece. Building on the Dungeon of Terror legacy from earlier years, this version leaned directly into the Crypt Keeper's influence. Medieval torture, grotesque scenes, and relentless scares made it one of the most talked about houses of the event. It wasn't subtle, and it wasn't supposed to be. By 1995, the streets were no longer just walkways between houses. They were attractions themselves. Midway at the bazaar was a scare zone that embraced the strange. Guests wandered through a twisted carnival filled with bizarre characters, unsettling performers, and non-stop energy. It blended dark humor with unpredictability, making it feel chaotic in the best way. This zone helped show how HHN could mix horror with performance and spectacle. Horrorwood Boulevard returned, continuing the idea that Hollywood itself had gone horribly wrong. Themed lighting, fog, and roaming scare actors transformed the street into a living horror movie. This zone reinforced the idea that HHN wasn't just about houses. It was about atmosphere. By this point, guests never felt truly safe anywhere in the park. HHN 1995's entertainment lineup was stacked. Rock of Ages was a high-energy rock show that brought loud music, attitude, and a much-needed adrenaline boost between scares. It helped keep the night moving and the crowd energized. Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure 4. By year 4, Bill and Ted had become a staple. This version continued the tradition of pop culture parody, roasting movies, celebrities, and trends of the mid-90s. It was loud, ridiculous, and exactly the kind of humor HHN needed to balance out the fear. The Price is Right is a dark twist on a classic game show. This was campy, fun, and completely on brand for early HHN. It gave guests something different, horror mixed with interactive comedy. Crypt Keeper's Revenge, The Knights of Hello. This show tied directly into the Crypt Keeper's presence, giving him a larger role in the event. It blended horror, humor, and spectacle, helping solidify the idea that HHN could tell stories, not just scare people. Halloween Horror Nights 1995 wasn't the biggest year. It wasn't the flashiest, but it might have been the most important. This was the year HHN found its identity. The year Universal realized horror could be branded, hosted, and built into something bigger. The year that laid the groundwork for icons, storylines, and the HHN we know today. Thanks for backtracking through HHN 1995 with me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe to Backtrack Parks, and let me know in the comments if you attended this year. Next time, we'll keep moving forward into the late 90s where things only get darker. See you on the next ride.